Hello, everyone, and welcome to Anonymous Talks. Anonymous Talks is a platform where anyone can share their story anonymously for the purpose of helping others going through a similar experience. It is also a platform to have conversations and discussions to address topics, some of which are controversial. I'm your host. My name is Dana, and I'm also a life coach who loves helping people find the power within themselves. Today, we have a story of someone who describes himself as a bookworm, an introvert, and a Gemini, which he says makes him adaptable to different situations. I would usually not share the identity of my guests to protect their privacy. But my guest today doesn't mind sharing his identity as he is a life coach who is specialized in helping men with a similar story. My guest is called Hamza, and he is the founder of YOLO Life Coaching. Hamza, thank you for being my guest.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you, of course.
Let's talk about your journey and your story. So, if you had to title it, what would you call it?
I think it could be my journey through the grief and loss cycles.
All right.
Yeah.
Tell me more about it.
Well, where to start this? I can start more than 10 years ago, where I got married after a love relationship at the age of 26, and then we had a son, and then later on we had a breakup that ended up in a divorce.
After 10 years of marriage, or
after 10 years of knowing each other, and after I think it was 7 years of marriage. Yeah.
Okay.
7 years of marriage. So that kind of experience for me, especially for men and a man like me, had an impact on me emotionally, psychologically, and you name it, which is this cycle of grief and loss, which is, by the way, is very similar to that situation when you lose someone, or that I think it's also the same if you are a cancer patient as well. And it could be also the same if you lost something like a material thing that is very close to you. It's all a matter of you lost something that is very close to you, which was my case. The impact was severe on me. Obviously, it was not me who signed up or raised the hand for that. And I remember, I still have these strong memories about this conversation when she told me this is not gonna work, right? And I remember also it's exactly like I'm having this strong memory and flashback right now of me trying to survive this and see how things will be working. How can we, if possible, we can see a marriage counselor and do the things before that. And for, I think, for all of the listeners right now, maybe they're curious to know, okay, why did that happen? At that time, I didn't know. I think the reason that she claimed would be that the emotions have faded somehow.
For her?
For her, yes. And I don't know at that time, or still till now, is was it because of an early marriage, or was it because of didn't have the chance to have different or multiple relationships that we learn from? But anyway, that was the conclusion, that due to sometimes when you are in a relationship for a long time, emotions are not the same. You got into this loop of routine, especially with kids, and you go through the same cycle over and over and over. And some people, they want to try something new. They don't know if the grass is greener on the other side or not. Right?
Okay.
Um, so what happened is that we went through, marriage counseling, and it didn't work because I know that it takes two to tango, and it didn't work.
It's one-sided?
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
You didn't feel that there was anything, because you said that from her side, she felt like the emotions faded.
yeah.
But what about you? From your side, did you feel that anything was not actually working during the marriage or towards the end of it?
Well, of course, this is part of someone or us being adults and mature enough to claim for things that you can simply pause and raise your hand and say, okay, this is my fault somehow, and I don't want this or for the listeners right now to portray that it's 100% her fault and I'm the perfect angel. Of course not. Like, I did mistakes during the relationship, right?
Mm.
And don't get me wrong, like right now we have a mutual respect towards each other's. Um, and this is one of the learnings that I really would like to talk about. But at that time, one of the things that I was so conscious about it is that I didn't want to have that kind of hate emotions is driving the whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Let's talk about the cycle of grief and how you went through it.
Okay. So the cycle of grief is some people say it's a 5-step cycle. The first step is denial. The second step is anger. The third one is depression. The fourth one is bargaining. And the last one is acceptance. A denial of, okay, why did that happen? Or it could be, for me, I was thinking like, okay, maybe she's just saying that and then later on we'll be getting back together and that's it, right? It could be for other people who are going through, tough times of or loss of someone, that they deny the whole thing. Some people, their entire, I would say, like psychology or their understanding is shutting off that this did not happen, right? And that was the main thing. I didn't spend lots of time into that phase. I went through quickly to the second stage, which is anger. And it was very easy for me, easy for men in breakup to go through anger very quickly and to stay in that phase, right? And for me, as I said, that I was still, like, we still would have contact together, me and my ex-wife, because we still have a child and we share in custody, etc. That I was very conscious not to have this kind of an anger element between us, right? Even though that, yeah, sometimes it slipped and I had this anger moment with her that later on I regret to have these kind of moments, right? So yeah, anger is a destructive emotion. It's very intense, very severe, but then it can fade away quickly. The next thing would be a depression.
Yeah.
Right? You don't stay angry for a long time. So this intense emotion is slowing down, and it goes to the next stage, which is depression.
How was depression for you?
Oh, bad.
You went through it?
Bad, yeah. I had suicidal thoughts.
Oh.
I have to say that. And I went through therapy. I'm being very open about it because it's a learning process. And one of the things that I want to share with other people, want to share with men, that breakup and divorce are hard. It's not easy, and we cannot take it lightly. And with that, emotions that are coming out of that are also like hard to deal with. They are very personal, very genuine emotions. That's why it's not healthy to take it lightly or to try to, sweep it below the carpet and pretend that it did not happen. I'm strong and fine.
Avoidance
And
of
avoid
these feelings.
Yeah.
I'm aware that men tend to avoid their feelings, and that's because of how men are brought up generally.
That's 100% correct, especially in the Arab world.
Yeah.
Me being an Arab guy brought in the Middle East, and all of these kind of stereotypes of no, men don't cry, just toughen up. It's okay if you went through breakup or divorce, you will find hundreds of girls waiting for you just to pick whatever you want, and all of these kind of things, which is it's not necessarily to be right?
And not healthy.
Exactly. Like we are human, whether like you're a man, a woman, we have our own, moments of vulnerability, I would say.
Yes.
So depression, yes, I went through depression. That was the stage of my breakup that took a long time.
How did you surpass depression?
That's a good question.
You had a severe one, and you said you went to a therapist.
Yeah.
Did that help?
Yes, of course. Yeah, and journaling as well, like writing down my thoughts, writing down letter as I would give it to my ex, which I never and I will never do. That helps a lot, right?
Putting all your emotions out there on paper.
Yes. Yeah. And also like, exercise helps a lot. Being outdoor helps a lot. Friends and family, of course, their role is a very important as a support system. And this is where I went through the next phase, which is bargaining. And I didn't stay in that phase for a long time. Bargaining off, or the question, what if I did this, or what if I did that differently, or what would happen if this didn't happen, and so on. My personal experience that I didn't go through this stage a lot because of the reason that I had this kind of regular contacts with my ex.
Is bargaining, can it be described as trying to get back together?
Yes. Yeah. And also I would add trying to get closure.
Okay.
Yeah. Because when you think of the reasons why did that happen, you try and unconsciously to think of reasons how to overcome these obstacles that happened before. And then the last phase, when you know that, okay, it happened, I'm looking at the learnings that I'm having right now, and for the reason that life is not always tough to you. Sometimes you have good things happening to you. Then you reach that level of acceptance that I learned something throughout the process. One of my learnings for me is spending valuable time with my son. Like right now, I'm 100% sure that if I would be still married, I wouldn't have that kind of strong relationship with my son.
Amazing.
Yeah. And being a better partner in my future relationships. Knowing that down or sad times will not last forever. All of these things are learning. And what I knew after a while is that you don't have to go through these phases in that particular sequence.
Yeah.
So you don't go through denial and then anger and then depression, and then after depression, bargaining and then acceptance. You don't have to go through each of these phases in that particular order. And also, it's completely normal that once you reach to a point, you can revert and go back to a previous phase. It could be
Maybe
something
something
that
would trigger.
exactly, you could have a trigger, and that is also completely normal. You can go back to from acceptance, which this is the phase that, thanks God, I reached, and I'm living with, in peace with the whole story, right? But still, I have some moments of anger. I have some moments of depression, and then, like, when you are fully conscious about this cycle, it's easier for one to, manage it or seek help from others, whether friends or whether therapy or coaching or.
What advice would you give to someone going through a similar experience as to yours?
My advice will be, go through the emotions that erupted from the breakup and immerse into them, and don't try to resist the idea of, no, I can't have those feelings, or I'm gonna be okay, or try to resist whatever kind of emotions you're having. Go through them and
Feel your feelings.
exactly feel the feelings, and make sure that it's completely fine that you are having those emotions, especially for men. And this is what I'm trying to coach other men for the reason that, be more vulnerable. It's completely okay that you went through loss, and those emotions are hard and tough, and that you need someone to talk to. It could be anyone, but just share and get your emotions out.
Thank you, Hamza, very much for sharing your story. Would you like to add anything?
No, thank you back, Dana. It's a really good pleasure and good opportunity, and thank you for hosting me in your podcast. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.